2, 1. All right. Welcome back. Episode 95 of 96 of the Scarlet and Blue Show. And we have a great weekend of football for each of our teams ahead of us. We're going to just kick off with the Penn State Ohio State game because that game's going to be amazing.
Yeah.
But before we do that,
Listen on. The sideline. Forget about it. This baby's over. Oh, my goodness. One man. Goodbye. Hello, Heisman.
And most especially in 310 days in Ann Arbor, Michigan, on the football field.
Another block. One more. He's touchdown. No flag. Samuel cuts it back. Ohio State wins. Here's the run again. Donovan Edwards. Whoa. Can they catch him? No. Donovan Edwards again. The down.
all right. Episode 96 brought to you by Stock the Bar. Stock the Bar. Delicious vodka, smooth taste with a purpose. Go get yours at stockthebar.com. Premium quality vodka. Delicious stuff.
I'll be there at 11 a.m. with it.
Attaboy. Attaboy. All right.
Bloody Marys and all.
Heading out east. Happy Valley. The floor is yours on how you're feeling about this game.
Anxious, not nervous. I believe anxious is the right word to use. Of course, as how I see this game, I do see it as a rivalry game. Maybe I should probably hold back on that now. I think next year we play at home against them. Then after that, we don't play again until 2028. Which is insane. That's insane.
Didn't realize that,
dude. It's it's kind of crazy to me. I don't like it, but it is what it is. Before I get to just the football stuff, again, thank you, Big Noon Kickoff. You're doing God's work, even though I do believe that the games like this should be at least at 3:30. But of course, this game is at noon. It's going to be rocking in there, regardless of the fact whether it's day or night. Looking forward to it. Love seeing my Buckeyes play in that stadium. You got two teams coming off of, I would say, disappointing wins. Ohio State had a very close one against Nebraska, the 21-17 game, where it was a very losable game, and we didn't play our best. You have Penn State, 28-13 against Wisconsin, and 14 of their points came in the fourth quarter. So, of course, that was a losable game also, but they brought it back and got a spark from their backup quarterback, Pribula. Yeah, Bo. Am I saying that right? Yeah, Bo Pribula. Dual threat quarterback. Nice change of pace coming from Drew Aller, who's been pretty good this year. Throw more picks this year than he did last year. I believe last year he had one. A lot of that has to do with the fact that he's throwing the ball more, throwing the ball downfield more. Fun fact, though, for you. With that being said, guess how many passes past 20 yards in the first quarter they have thrown this year? Penn State.
It's a very specific stat. How many passes in the first quarter they've thrown over 20 yards?
Yes.
10?
Goose egg.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
They're not taking deep shots in the first quarter.
No, and they've had some slow starts this year in the first half. I think a lot of that has to do with them trying to fill out the other team. Of course, you would love to see, any fan would love to see their team hit the floor running. That's just not how they do it. Two great coordinators, Colton Nicky and Tom Allen, really good coaches. I actually think this game is going to be won by the coordinators. I do think we have the advantage in that field, but it's not by a large margin. I think it's by the smallest of margins. I think that James Franklin has his best coordinator duo of his career here at Penn State. Ryan Day has the same. A few things here. Man, listen, I'm very worried about the defensive line. Very worried. Ryan Day said he has all the confidence in this offensive line in this game. Said that they're going to be ready to go. Coach speak, in my humble opinion, but I'm going to take him at face value because I think if I do that, I'm holding him accountable.
Okay.
I've come at your coaches for doing the same thing. I'm gonna stay consistent on this. If you're gonna say things like this, then it has to show. It has to. You have their tight end Tyler Warren, 559 yards this year, 4 touchdowns. Also has a passing touchdown, 2 for 2, I believe, and a rushing touchdown. Very good tight end, possibly he has been the best tight end in the Big Ten this year, possibly in the country. I do believe Colson Loveland is the best, but just in terms of production and what he's been able to do and how Penn State's been creative and finding ways to get him the ball, it's been nothing short of amazing. On the defensive side, Abdul Carter, best edge rusher in the Big Ten, one of the best in the nation. He's not Micah Parsons, okay, but he resembles him. A little bit bigger, I think he's about 250, 260, somewhere in that range. But he can bend. He's very athletic at his size, and that has been something that has plagued our right tackle Fryer. He doesn't do well against guys like that. Of course, as you know, we don't have Josh Simmons right anymore for the season. I'll read this to you. So Dave mentioned Donovan Jackson, Carson Hinsman, Seth McLaughlin, Tegra, Josh, and Austin Serveld. I can't say his name. I would prefer not to see him on the field. It's going to be really interesting to see what that lineup looks like for Ohio State. I would prefer Donovan Jackson at left tackle. Now, he hasn't played left tackle since high school, but he's our best offensive lineman.
Mm-hmm.
And in my honest opinion, if they were to do that, I would move Tegra right to left guard. I really would. We had a lot of success early in the season and early in the game against Oregon running to the left. That's where we run the ball. And we mow people down doing that. And when you have running backs like Travion Henderson and Quinshon Judkins, your vision, power, speed, strength can only do so much if you don't have the blocking, if you don't have the holes being created. I think what would really help Ohio State this week. Actually, before I say this, there's one coach I do have in my eye this week, and it's Chip Kelly. And it solely has to do with the offensive line. Chip Kelly made his bones off of working with less talent, 3 stars in the Pac-12 at Oregon. Smaller offensive linemen, and finding ways to have Chip. No matter where Chip Kelly goes, he has a great run game. No matter where he goes, I think that he should play more zone blocking this week. I think when you do that, you allow your running backs to have more freedom, kind of in a way that K9 did at Michigan State. Michigan State had a very bad offensive line that year, but they zone blocked and they let their playmaker do his thing. I think that's exactly what Ohio State needs to do. I also believe that we need to find a way to get the ball to our receivers. Not a lot, but a good amount. A very good amount. I don't think we need to be sitting back there letting Will Howard wait for guys to get open and then allowing Abdul Carter to come in there and thrack him. That is the last thing I want to see. I do think because of his athleticism, it does help. But I just don't want to see it. And he hasn't been pressured this year. I think he's one of the least pressured quarterback in the Big Ten. So as for all the flack that we give Ohio State's offensive line, you, me, and everyone else, that is a high point for them this season. Reed and Wheatley, their safeties, have 3 interceptions on the season. Very good safeties, very good duo. It'll be very important that it'll be very important for Will Howard to not get careless with those two back there. Staying on safety on the other side on the other team for Ohio State. Ohio State gets Ransom back. That is huge. That is huge. I think that's big for communication in the back end. I don't believe Penn State is threatening as a passing team. They don't throw downfield a lot, but they do get guys open. I'm more worried about our run defense and how we stop one of the best running back tandems in the country with Kaytron Allen and Nick Singleton.
Mm-hmm.
But
is Drew Aller going to play?
Not sure yet. And I hope he does. Bo, I think he's a good change of pace for them. He's got more tick, and this is film on him now, so I'm more comfortable with him playing. I would also say that if they do go Bo Pribula, I don't think Ohio State's the first the team you want to play for your first start.
No, it's not as good. Not as great.
Yeah. But go ahead.
Yeah, I'd say this. Looking at their stats, so total yards a game, they're number 4. You guys are number 2. You guys have hold offenses. Your defense holds offenses to 254 yards a game. Penn State 267, and I was looking at rushing yards a game. Penn State is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You guys are 6. 2 yards separate the two of you. So Penn State's got a good defense. I'll say this though. Yeah. I think Penn State should be number 1 in the Big Ten right now. I think they have the most impressive resume. I think you have to go on the road. Penn State.
Who? They have a more impressive resume than Oregon?
Mm-hmm. You went on the road to West Virginia, which is so-and-so. Then you had Illinois. Then you go on the road to USC, and then you go on the road to Wisconsin. And then they have you guys.
Oregon beating Ohio. Well, they haven't played us yet. So I mean, just till today, Oregon has the best. Oregon has the best win. Technically in the country, one of the best wins in the country. No, yeah, they're one of the best ones in the country, if not the best one. They had the best one in the country.
Sure.
They've dominated more than Penn State. I mean, they optically just look better than Penn State.
Well, you beat Michigan State, you beat UCLA, you beat Oregon State, you beat a Heisman favorite right now in Ashton Genty.
Mm-hmm.
If that's, and then you blew out Illinois at home,
which is what I mean. Not to do transitive property, but they both played Illinois, and Penn State was in a dogfight.
This is true. This is true. So I mean, really, that's what that's 2. You obviously have the best win, and then you have Illinois.
Mm-hmm.
So it's close. I think though Penn State going on the road, beating SC, beating Wisconsin, beating Illinois, and then I know what West Virginia's record is now.
They're not good. They're not good. I'll say this: they can't have a better resume because Oregon actually has 2 ranked wins, and one of those is the best win in the country.
Yeah. So Illinois.
Well, they have 3. They have 3 ranked wins, and one of those is probably one of the top 3 Group of 5 teams
in Boise State.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it's a better resume.
All right. Fine.
No, but I get what I get what you're getting at. Like I would say on a more consistent basis, Penn State has played better teams or a tougher schedule. I get
that's
that.
what.
Yes. So yeah, you're right on that.
It's not good when we find common ground, Garrison.
I know. I will always tell the truth in the best way I can.
All right, here's a question for you then. Who has more pressure on them this game? Ryan Day or James Franklin?
Ryan Day.
I'd agree.
James Franklin is 1-10 against Ohio State. Well, I'll put it this way. I believe it's Ryan Day because of the roster, the talent on the team, how close he's been. I think if James Franklin had been as close as Ryan Day is to the being at the top of college football, at the pinnacle, winning a championship, I think he'd be in the same breath as him, but he's not. And also a lot of that has to do with the expectations of the programs and the coaches. I also do believe this. I think Ohio State is in a lose-lose situation in this game. If you lose the game, we can imagine what's going to be done, what's going to be said all over the nation, okay? If you win this game, everyone's just going to say, oh, it's just James Franklin being James Franklin. Oh, it's Penn State being Penn State. Ohio State's favorite. Like that. No one's going to see us beating the number 3 team in the nation, even with Penn State being the number 3 team in the nation, being at home, having that crowd, that stadium and crowd they have. No one's going to give Ohio State the credit for winning this game. But if you lose, you're going to get lambasted. And even more so if Drew Allard doesn't play. I mean, I'll ask you, if Drew Allard doesn't play, are you going to give Ohio State credit for the win?
That's a good question. Yeah, I think I'd have to. We'll see. I can figure out a narrative for you. Don't worry.
But no, Ryan Day has more pressure.
Because if you guys lose, that's 2 losses.
Yeah.
Yeah, obviously you still get in the playoff 2 losses, especially when your losses are on the road to Oregon.
But you gotta beat Indiana.
Then you gotta beat Indiana. Yeah. And then you might not. Yeah, obviously things have to play out in a certain way, but then you're probably not in the Big Ten championship either. So yeah, there's a lot. But I also think I am. I don't think James Franklin should get off the hook. Like this is his. I think his coordinators, like you mentioned, are awesome. And if Aller goes down, I suppose that's one excuse you can come up with. But I think you have to be able to beat Ohio State. And whether it was the last couple of years with Michigan, you have to beat the top of the conference eventually. Yeah. Like it has to happen. And they don't have Oregon in the regular season, but they presumably get them in the Big Ten championship. And I just think you have to put up something here. So I think there's pressure on them. I think they are good. I really like Penn State this year.
Yeah.
And then they've got you guys at home. So I can't wait. I'm so excited.
Yeah, and James Franklin for years and years has been talking about. I think he just says good or great, but he says the difference between being good and elite. And he talks about the difference in doing that. And this is a step for him and his program and his teams to do that. And I'm listen. Ryan Day's never lost to Penn State. James Franklin. Never done it. I think James Franklin's actually blown 2 fourth-quarter double-digit leads against Ohio State since Ryan Day's been there.
Yeah, 2 years ago at home.
Mm-hmm.
And then were they up last year?
It wasn't last year. 4 years ago, I think. Because I think it was either one against Ryan Day and one against Urban, or both against. I know he blew one against Urban. I know for a fact he blew one against Urban. But no, man, I'm really excited for this game. I'm very excited. Ohio State, Penn State is one of the biggest games in college football. Especially when they're really good, and this right here is as good as it gets. It's as good as it gets. Number 3 versus number 4. Excuse me.
Mm-hmm.
I think that for Ryan Day, you have. I mean, you have to be aggressive. And he has been this year. I mean, you go look at the Oregon game. Dude was going for it on fourth down like it was nothing. Like he didn't care. And I really like that. I think he went 2 for 3 in that game. I think you got to do the same thing here. To just get to how I feel about the end of this. I think Ohio State wins this game.
Okay.
I mean, if you're a Buckeye fan, listen, man. If there is one game of the year that JT balls out, if he for the last 2 years, this is the game he chooses. I don't know. I don't know why. I don't know what Penn State did to him, but clearly they did something that pissed him off. So I'm looking for that. I'm looking for Jeremiah to have a big game, Emeka to have a big game, and I'm going to pick Ohio State to win this game 28-24. And like I said, and the whole Ryan Day accountable. These are his words right here. We're in control of how we want the game to look. If that's the case, do it. If that's the case, go and do it. And I've been one of Ryan Day's. I've been one of his biggest supporters. You know that.
You have.
But if you're gonna say things like this, and I do believe he believes that. But if you believe that, man, you gotta go out and do it. And I think he gets a big win. And then Ohio State fans to stop. Don't use that word, Garrison. Crying.
There are a lot of Buckeyes who are ready to slip that. I should say that on YouTube, but ready to see Ryan Day off if they lose. If you guys lose,
no, it's weird. I mean,
I can't believe it.
And this is the crazy part, right? Ohio State has been in outside of Oregon, really one close game this year, that being Nebraska, right? If we're gonna sit here and say, "Oh, well, we're the best conference, or we're the second best conference behind the SEC. We play a tough schedule. We have tough teams and all that." When a team actually comes out to play and they play it and they play you tough, don't then cry about it. Like it's weird to me. I just don't get it. And like I said last week, even though I had Ohio State winning pretty big, I mean, I said Nebraska's going to play better than they did the week before. I just didn't see our offense playing like how they did. I wasn't upset about us giving up 17 points to them. I was surprised that we only had 21. So, and yeah, can we say, okay, you know, they're coming off of a bye week that came off of an emotional loss? Sure, but you gotta play better than that. Yeah, and I think this week they will. I don't want to use that old Georgia SEC moniker. They go, oh, they're just bored, and they come out and smack somebody. But it'd be nice to see. So we'll see. We'll see.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I can't wait. Yeah.
Now let's get to the other game because you guys ruined.
Our collection of experiences, moments of happiness or times of great loss. First homes, new babies, property loss, even heartache. Knowing that your insurance provider is always close by offers comfort. At Farm Bureau Insurance, the experience you get with our local trusted advisors is different. From financial security to a helping hand, Farm Bureau understands the experience matters. Find an agent who can protect what matters to you.
All right. Sorry. Go ahead. What'd you say?
No, I was going to say you guys ruined probably one of the biggest weeks in Big Ten football history.
Explain.
We could have had 2 top 5, maybe 2 top 10 matchups in one weekend. But you guys just had to suck.
Oh.
You guys just had to suck.
I was talking about a lot of other stuff. Okay. I think we're going to win.
Go ahead. No. Open ears. Open ears. Well, come on. You got to be open ears. Come on.
Yeah, open ears. Yes. Look at you. Good. All right. Maybe got a little excited there. I think we could win. Win. A lot has to happen. So
like
we've all
last
watched
week.
Oregon. Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
You said yeah.
We've all watched Oregon a lot. Now, so their offensive line, you've called it out, hasn't looked great, especially early on in the season. Our defense line is the strength. So I think I like that matchup there. The problem is that Dillon gets the ball out so quick that I don't know if we'll be able to get to the quarterback. And the receivers, I love their receiving core. Between what's his name?
Tez Johnson,
Evan
Stewart.
And Evan Stewart, yeah, the Texas A&M transfer. Yeah, and then they've got that big tight end too, number 3. And so I love their receiving core. And if Will Johnson, so Sharon Moore in his press conference said that Will Johnson hasn't closed shop, hasn't shut it down for the season, but he might not be back this week. Hopefully that's just him saving face and not letting Scott report out.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully Will play because we'll need him. So those on the defensive side of the ball, those things need to happen. Of course, if those things don't happen, if we can't slow down their passing attack, if we can't get to the quarterback, obviously win the battle of the trenches, we're not going to be able to win the game. On offense, it's about turnovers. I saw enough from Davis Warren that he can convert. Garrison, you have to admit he made some big throws. Stuff we haven't seen. Now, again, the bar is so low.
What are big throws to you?
He had that throw on the flea flicker, the cover 2 ran that corner route. That was a great ball.
I don't want to hear about flea flickers, bro.
I'm just saying, it was a great throw. I don't know if Will Howard can make that throw.
I mean, like, well, he's made better throws this year. I mean, like, no, go ahead. No, I want you to talk.
So well, not Will Howard. Davis Warren needs to play absolutely perfect. And we're going to have a little more creativity too. I think last week we saw that kind of opens up with some creativity. Of course, Donovan Edwards has his. You see his QBR?
Donovan Edwards?
Yeah.
It's got to be the highest in the nation, like college football history.
Yeah. 4 for 4. Was it 154 or something like that? It's fantastic. So all those things have to happen. Of course, if one of those things don't, we're in for a world of hurt. I do think Oregon is legit. I think they are a national championship caliber team. And I was reluctant to say that, but I really like Gabriel in that offense. And I think that defense has talent too. So can they put it together? I think they probably have, but they also have the guys. They have the talent. Mm-hmm. So I'll say this. I think we, in many ways, salvaged the season, which sucks to have to say because going into the season, you, of course, thought it'd be much better than that. But if we didn't win last Saturday, there's a chance you're not making a bowl game.
You weren't making a bowl game.
There's a chance. There's a high likelihood we weren't making a bowl game.
You weren't.
So they got Northwestern at the end, or the week before you guys. Mm-hmm. We needed that one. And so there's going to be a ton of recruits at this game too. So it's got to be a good showing as well. So I think the boys will come to play. I'm excited. I can't wait. Cannot wait.
How many points do you think you need to score to win this game?
That's the other problem I don't want to talk about.
You gotta talk. That's what why we have this platform, sir.
We have to. I think it's darn near close to 30.
Would you prefer? All right, so I thought about this while I was at work today. I don't know. I was just thinking about your guys' game, things I want to talk about. You guys need to find a way to replicate what Boise State did with Ashton Jeanty. Now you don't. I think
good call out.
Of course, you don't have Ashton Jeanty on your team. No one in the nation does.
With Donovan Edwards. Happy Halloween.
What was he today? A real running back? Is that what he was for Halloween? But I'll tell you that. I'll give that joke to you later. But I think that, you know, since early in the season, I've been calling for Mullings to be getting 20 to 25 carries. And of course, this is me as a football fan. I think that's the recipe for the most consistent success for you guys. Mm-hmm. Their defensive ends are very good. And they're not just big, they're very athletic. And then you also have Harmon in the middle, Michigan State transfer. Man, you guys have played the best game you played all year.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
And you know what, man? Sometimes in college football, you get it. Sometimes you get that. But I don't think that a lot of the things, and I know we had a very heated argument about this last week. And shoot, I don't want to forget his name. He avid watcher. Man, you know, I'll figure it out before the show is over. But he commented about what I said about basically taking things away from what Michigan did last week. When I also said that I do give them credit for it, but I was just trying to lay out how perfect things had to lay out for you to get a 7-point win against Michigan State at home. I don't think a lot of those things can be replicated. When you're playing a better team, you're gonna get more false starts. You're gonna get more penalties. You guys are gonna see a turnover this week. You're gonna see at least one. I would lean more towards it being an interception than a fumble. But I just can't see a world where you guys play the perfect game. And
yeah, it's gonna happen.
It's tough, man. It's tough, and because, you know, especially even for your defense, if Will Johnson does not play, oh boy, because like I've been saying about you guys secondary, I think it is Swiss cheese. So it's outside of him, of course, Will Johnson, and of course your linebacker has been playing better. Barham he's been playing some good football the last 2-3 weeks. Mm-hmm. And your defensive line, amazing. I think I said this about Ohio State when they played Oregon for Tyleik Williams. You got to get pressure up the middle, especially against a smaller quarterback, and especially knowing that he gets the ball outside quick. Mm-hmm. Something that's very underrated about Michigan defensive ends. Actually, no, the Michigan defensive linemen since 2021. On passes, whether they be up the middle or on screen plays, you guys put your hands in the air. You guys have been out, unless someone else can prove me wrong, probably the best program in the last few years, and including this year, at having your defensive linemen get pass deflections. I think it's going to be very big for Josiah Stewart and Derek Moore to be doing that on the edge when they get the ball fast. Of course, you got the big boys in the middle. They're very good at it also, especially Grant, because he's just so big and long paws.
I'm letting you work through it.
Yeah. I think your best chance is run the ball, shortening the game.
Yep.
I think that's teams that can run the ball should be doing that. Like Nebraska did that against Ohio State last week. So yeah, man, it's gonna be a tough game. Gonna be a tough one.
Yeah, you can't go down big either. You can't have a 2-score deficit right off the jump. You can't let them
you guys go down. You guys go down 10, it's a wrap.
Yeah. Well,
you go down 10, it's a wrap.
Well, we went down 9.
Against who?
Michigan State. Did we go down 9? Or was it? No, it was 7-6. We scored. Yeah. So they scored first, and then never mind.
Because in my mind, say you guys went down 10-0, that means I have to trust your offense to get 2 scores out of that and then your defense stopping them for 3 straight drives. I'll be praying for you.
Thank you. Look at that. What a guy. You mentioned a name, Chloe Mullins. I said this on last week's episode. I don't even think we should play Michigan State ever again or anymore. With the way that fan base responded and acted, juvenile behavior. Michigan State fans, be better.
Should we? I think that's weak. I actually listened to the round table on Sam Webb's this morning, and I forget his name, but he said the same thing. That's a weird take. And from actually no, I can just say this without being I don't have to qualify myself. I've lived in the state of Michigan my whole life. That's a pompous thing to say. To think simply because you are acting as though their fan base is wrong or is always wrong, and acting as if I can't, maybe a Michigan State fan can't bring up some things or doesn't have the knowledge of some of Michigan's mishaps, but I have the knowledge. I have the history. I know I know things. I pay enough attention to it. So to look down upon them and say, "Oh, they're family," because you have to do the same thing. You guys have
drug Khalil Mullins' name through the mud. That he's stomping out female staff members.
Dude, listen. I don't. Okay.
And it didn't happen.
Wait. We don't know it didn't. Wait,
anything.
Bryce, that's not correct. That's not fact. I'm gonna tell you the same. Well, by the way, everyone, I'll get to it later. But I said on my first episode, right?
Did you launch that?
Huh?
Did you launch that yet?
I'm going to tonight.
Oh, all right.
But yeah, everyone, go check out the hot route. But I'll be dropping it tonight. We'll get to that later. But I said on there, I think the Big Ten did the right thing because you can't see. There's too much going on. Does that mean that he didn't do anything? No. But I'm personally not comfortable with punishing someone without clear evidence of it. And maybe he was stomping out another player. I've heard good things about Khalil Mullins, so I tend to move away from that. My thing is I'm not a fan of lambasting another fan base because of how they react. And you can understand how they're reacting based off what happened a couple of years ago. You can I can understand why their frustration leans towards that. What I don't like is how some Michigan fans have this holier than thou mindset.
It's little brother activity is what it is. And
I think saying little brother
at the end of the day, it is that's exactly what it is. And we are what, 5 days from that game. People are still talking about it. They have a program that's going in the right direction. They have a huge game this week, and they're still talking about it.
That's what fans are allowed to do. They're fans.
You absolutely are allowed to do it.
Wait. They're not the team. Wait. You're saying they have a big game this week. As a fan, they do. The team has a big game. The program has a big game. The institution has a big game. The coach and the players have a big game. If they want, I still got Ohio State fans talking about someone spitting in another dude's face mask. So it happens even in my own fan base. I just don't like You can't sit here and act like you can't understand why they feel this way. And also because we're talking about decades and decades and decades of a how would I say this? Now they say you guys are like the favorite son, that type of thing. Like I'm not gonna get into I'm not gonna go down the road of details, but kind of like how everyone got and rightfully so. We're talking about the Michigan State institution and that nasty man. But then when we find out about y'all, you guys say nothing about it. So that's where
I don't know what you're talking about. What are you talking about?
We'll just say doctors. I don't want to go down the rabbit hole of it. I'm using it as a point.
You're talking about Larry Nassar?
I'm talking about Nassar and that nasty doctor you guys had that bullshit.
Yeah, that's beyond football. That's
no, Bryce,
conversation.
Bryce. Listen to what I'm saying though. I'm talking about how rightfully. I'm talking about the fan base and how they feel that they're treated compared to how you guys are treated, and how that happened, and how they got
treated by who?
The media, Bryce.
Oh my God! Okay. This goes back to it all. This is little brother type stuff.
No. All right. Listen, if you feel that way, I'm not a Michigan State fan. I'm a third party.
What?
Well, I'm in football. I'm not a Michigan State football fan.
All right, good save.
But as a third party, I can look from afar. The same way I can sit here and look from afar and say Khalil Monk shouldn't have been in trouble and the Big Ten did the right thing. I can also look from afar and say I understand and thinking, knowing the history, I can understand why their fan base is upset. I can understand it. So that's all.
All right, that's fine. I think it's lame. I think it's weak. I think it plays into the fun that people poke at them, and they keep doing it. It's their prerogative. Go for it.
I think it's lame and weak that you guys
gets clicks. I think it's an easy way to get engagement.
I think it's lame and weak that you guys still say JT was short, but you don't pay attention to the fact that you had less than 10 yards in the fourth quarter. Like
that's.
No, that's right there. That's annoying to me that you guys point that out and you don't look at the whole game. You don't look at your quarterback throwing a pick six. You don't look at the fact that you still have 4 other downs to stop us.
And that Jarrell Peppers missed a tackle that set you up in a 4th and short.
Yeah, because he's trash.
You're trash.
Ain't it? I'm garbage. You get it?
God. We're trying to get political on the show. All right, last thing, and we got to run here.
Yeah, go ahead.
This whole Bryce Underwood stuff is a couple thoughts on that.
Yeah.
One is we're playing the game finally, for better, for worse. We seemingly are playing the game now. Mm-hmm. We're up to speed with many of the programs, such as yours. So that's great. I think Carter Smith decommitment is an interesting one because that can mean a lot of things. It could mean he was either just sick and tired of hearing all this. He's like, fine, if you guys don't want me, don't value me, then great, I'm out. I'm going to find somewhere else that does want me, values me, and I'm priority number 1. Which I don't blame him for that. Also, this is a kid out of the state of Michigan who's number 1 in the country, number 2 in some rating systems.
Which was crazy.
And so like you kind of got to understand that. But there's so it could be that. It could also be that, maybe there's actually some legitimacy to all of this, and Bryce Underwood is seriously considering.
How do you feel about the rumor of $5 million?
Is it Portnoy's money? Is it coming from other people?
I was messaging TJ,
he's been
Twitter.
Active.
Yeah, and he said that this is the night before Portnoy.
This is what?
That doesn't even have the $5 million is not even his money. Portnoy's.
Did he say who it was?
No. I'm guessing I would assume it's a bunch of boosters and collectives.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, Michigan should have plenty of money to do stuff like this.
I would say spending $5 million for I'm all for like doing like NIL, but spending $5 million for it.
So I'm not. I don't like it. I think it's too much pressure on a kid.
That's a lot of money.
It's a lot of money. It's too much pressure. It's like it's setting up expectations for an 18-year-old that maybe some kids can handle it, maybe some kids can't. I just don't. I don't think it's the best situation. And I think this. I think a lot of schools are going to go through this, or they've gone through. I mean, we've seen it before. A lot of guys getting bags.
Yeah.
Legitimately, over the table, nothing shady, and then things don't work out. And it's just like, all right, was it worth it? But, if these schools have money pouring out the wazoo at these boosters and these big time donors, then maybe that's just part of playing the game. I don't know, but $5 million is a ton of money.
That number, if I found out that Ohio, and I don't care who the recruit is, if I found out that Ohio was paying $5 million for play, I'm like, that's crazy. That's crazy. Not an 18-year-old. Yeah. Not an 18-year-old. Like,
I'd rather.
If it was Caleb Downs, okay. But
I'd rather give that $5 million to like a Cam Ward type, someone who's more proven.
Yeah.
So
also, like I saw this today, I was like, that can't be real. You see Carson Smith's forearm tattoo?
yeah, is that real? Did we confirm that? I saw your tweet.
I don't know. It ain't just me. Everyone sees it, and no one said it's not real.
I mean, we gotta be able to find that quickly.
And the thing is, Bryce, it was just 6 days ago. Who's it? EJ Holland. He said that like Carson Smith said he's locked into Michigan, and then next thing you know, a few days later, did commits.
Which tells you, I don't know. It kind of tells me that there has to be some legitimacy with Underwood.
I think there's legitimacy that Michigan's like how he feels about them. He's hiring how he views them, and his recruitment is better. If I was a Michigan fan, where I would worry is that it took $5 million just for him to look back at it and pause, and and because if you were, and I was talking to a Michigan fan on Twitter, and I said, look, or X, say, look, yeah, like he's gonna be looking at you guys, but at the same time, there are other things that come into play, and don't think LSU can't divvy up the money.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Don't think they can't divvy up the money, but then there's other things that come with it. And he said, that means probably get some transfers out of the portal and some other recruits. I said, yeah, but you guys getting a couple recruits, like he brought up how you guys have one of the best tight ends in recruiting, a top 10 wide receiver. I said LSU has all that tenfold, and they're not, and they're not incoming freshmen. They're proving guys. And let's be honest here. If you are let's say a wide receiver in the high-end wide receiver in the portal, are you going to go to Michigan or are you going to go to LSU? Because you still haven't shown and proved that you can pass the ball or have a competent game plan. A lot of that has to do with the fact of who your quarterbacks are.
Yeah.
But exactly. I mean, let's not forget what Bryce Underwood talked about when he was talking to the guys on Crane & Co.
That was before JJ got drafted top 10.
Does that matter?
Well, I just did.
No, I don't think it matters because even if you bring up JJ, now name the last quarterback Michigan developed.
Developing to get drafted?
No, I mean just in college was a great to elite, even good.
I thought Shea Patterson was okay.
Shea Patterson regressed at Michigan coming from Ole Miss.
He didn't regress.
No, look at the stats. He regressed.
Well, different offense.
Still regressed.
No, different offense. Wasn't slinging it like they do down at Ole Miss.
Yet he was still better slinging it there. And then we got to Michigan with better wide receivers.
Awesome wide receivers.
Yeah, like awesome wide receivers. He still his stats still regressed. His play still regressed. So,
well, a lot of that gets overshadowed because he couldn't beat Ohio State.
No, it doesn't. There are other. No, I'm not talking about. I'm talking about his stats, his end of the season stats, not just Ohio State. Ohio State doesn't affect 13 games worth of production. So,
yeah, but there's a legacy component to it too that you remember. Because stats, you look at stats, it depends on the offense game plan that you're in. So if you're in a sling it, and I guess it wasn't Lane Kiffin back then.
Michigan was passing the ball when they had Shea Patterson. They were passing the ball.
Passing it like the teams down south.
No, but he was.
Yeah, we were throwing. He was
throwing the ball, man. He was throwing the ball more than JJ did. That's for doggone sure.
Yep.
So, and like I said, and I think we had this conversation before the season. LSU has shown like they can develop quarterbacks. Even Nussmeier this year. Look at him, and then look at your quarterbacks. And of course, Nussmeier was a higher rated recruit coming out of high school.
Yeah, I wouldn't compare this year, but no, I mean, yeah, it's true. It's true.
But they show and prove. So
Joe Burrow, Jaden Daniels. There was a bit of a gap.
Jamarcus Russell.
Yeah, you go way back.
But yeah,
all right, I got to run here. We got to share our picks on social here.
Yeah, I know you need to get going. Good grief. Now I'll go first here.
Well, just send me your picks. We'll share them on social.
All right.
Sorry,
but real quick.
All right, go.
I just want to point out, everyone, this is free money. This is the one pick I want to share. It's free money.
Love it.
UGA is minus 14.5 against Florida. This is Lagway's first start.
Yeah, because Mertz is hurt, right?
Yeah. You bring a true freshman out against Georgia.
I don't know, man. I'm taking Florida.
14.5?
Oh, yeah.
All right. Oh, and by the way, everyone, real quick before Bryce goes, we end this here. So yeah, I started a new show. It will be on the Scarlet and Blue Show. Platform is the Hot Route, is where I speak mostly. It won't be much Ohio State and Michigan stuff. It'll be about the college football landscape mostly. I'll drop the episode tonight. I'll be talking about James Franklin, the ACC title race, and more. I think it's really fun. And I'll also be taking questions every week off X. So drop them there when I ask for them. But yeah, tune in.
Boom. Boom, boom, boom. All right, go Blue.